Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dropping the Gloves. Thanks for joining us here, May 20th. Tim in North Carolina. How was your weekend, Tim? How you doing?
It was nice. Yeah, it was good. Good. The weather's good and warming up. People are laying out by the pool, reading books, tanning. It's nice down here. How was your weekend?
Reading your book, hopefully. You pass it
Hopefully.
out?
I should. I do drop them around those. You know those little free libraries in the neighborhoods, the little mailbox looking things. Yeah, I drop it in there from time to time. Different ones around town.
That's exciting. Put your
Yeah.
phone number on it. Call me for feedback. Let me know what you think. That's fun. You're an author.
I am. So are you?
Exciting. You wrote my book sucks. Tim sent me a picture of a book. I think it was a used bookstore selling my book for like $3, $2.99. Yeah.
Pretty funny.
It's humbling. It's very humbling. But I am a best-selling author. So there's that. All right. My weekend was good. Yeah, very nice. Nice weather. We went down to the beach with the kids. They were just like, we want to go swimming. We want to go swimming. I'm like, it's cold. It's cold. We really want to go. It's cold. It's Lake Michigan. It's going to be cold. No, we're going to go in. So I made sure who said they were going to go all the way in. Bundled them up, went down to the lake, and I made sure they went in. So 4 of them went all the way in under their head, everything. So they got right out. It's still cold. It's like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
But they went in. It was a lot of fun. We had nice. It was nice weather, beautiful stuff. Lots of activities outside, but it was good. It was funny. I got a call from Marty McSorley randomly, and he checks in every once in a while. For those of you who don't know, Marty McSorley was NHL player, fighter, and he was best known as Wayne Gretzky's bodyguard for the better part of his career. He played with him at Edmonton, followed him to the LA Kings, so he's been around for a long time. Infamously known for, hitting Donald Brashear in Vancouver, got suspended, I think, for life after that. I can't remember the suspension that he got levied out against it, but that's kind of what he's known for, that one play right there. But anyways, great guy. Really, really great guy. I've done some charity events with him along the way. I haven't seen him in a few years, but he gave me a call. I didn't answer, of course. I was busy. He left a message. And this is how I know my life has changed, because this opportunity that he is presenting to me is so fun. But I can't do it because I have kids. And the opportunity is, he's like, hey, John, I have a friend in Barbados who puts on an event every year, and he's looking for people to go down and hang out. You don't have to play any hockey. You just go, you play some golf, you have some nice barbecue. You just hang out with these guys. He just wants to hang out. It sounds like creepy when you think about it. He just wants to hang out with former athletes. A little like Jeffrey Epstein stuff. But anyways, so Marty McSorley usually goes. He's like, I can't go. Your name came to the top of my mind. You seem like you really love it. Let me know. It's 7 days in Barbados. He flies you out there, all inclusive. Everything's paid for. And then they might even throw a little money your way on top of that. But you get to go deep sea fishing. You get to go golfing. You get to enjoy the island. He only needs your time for like 2 of the days, and the other 5 you're on your own. You can stay, it's beautiful. I can't do it. Of course, I can't go to Barbados by myself and justify it to my wife if I'm not making any kind of money, Yeah. But what an opportunity to go to Barbados, Tim, and just kind of hang out. So
this guy just wants to hang out with athletes for a couple of days in exchange for giving you a free vacation, basically.
Doesn't it sound weird? But
yeah. What's the catch?
Yeah.
What's the hook? That sounds great. Any interest in podcast hosts or self-published authors, do you think?
Successful ones, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know any?
Yeah, no, I don't.
But it's just funny. I got that message. I played it for my wife. She just laughs. She's like, yeah, no, not a chance. Never in a million years. No. Go to Barbados with no cell phone service for a week with some strange guy and just play golf and drink and fish the whole week? Yeah, no. Yeah, good things are going to happen from that. Are you nuts? No, thank you very much. But
Did you call him back?
Who?
Marty.
No. I haven't yet. It's on my list of things to do. But it's just funny. People do that. There's people in Russia, people in Europe, people in Australia, they just want to hang out with athletes.
Is the guy an American or Canadian, or is he
I
from
haven't got
Barbados?
that. I haven't even got, this is all coming from Marty's message, and he left a very detailed message. So I should call him back, but yeah. And then it's just funny. But what if I didn't have any kids or a wife? I'd be there in a heartbeat. It'd be great.
Yeah. You make a living off stuff like that.
Oh, you'd have fun. I really would be a charity game whore. I would just be going all over the world. Like, oh, you want me to come in? Yeah, sure, fly me in, pay me some money. Let's go, let's play. There are fun events. I do a lot in Canada, and it's a good time. I just did one down in Detroit. It was a lot of fun. We're going to have Darian Hatcher on the show. I met him there. So anyways, I have one more thing. So I've been trying to introduce the game of Monopoly to my kids. I loved it growing up. Favorite game, Tim. Lost friendships over it. Like really, really good friendships just because trade me your pieces. People get jealous because of the position you hold and they don't want to further your dominance. So they do, well, I'm not trading you that, even though you're offering them more than enough for a property. So anyways, that's a whole other topic. I'm sure people can kind of sympathize with me on that. Anyways, I play with my kids. My two older girls play Ava Gabriella. Then we roped in Estelle and Sophia. They wanted to be a part of it too. So I had Sophia on my team, and I think Estelle went with Gabriella and Lillian went with Ava, or vice versa, whatever it was. And we play, I dominate. Like I'm talking, Tim, I own from Go, I own Baltic, I own the light blues, I own the pinks, and I own the oranges. And this happened over like 3 hours of playing, 2-3 hours of playing. All is good in the world. We win. I crushed them. Everything's great. We finished the game. And this is where, sometimes you get a little friction between you and your spouse.
Okay.
She goes, it's not really fair for Eleanor and Esther that you guys play that. And those are the two youngest ones, my 1-year-old and my 3-year-old. And I go, how so? Well, they're not involved in it. I'm like, yeah, they're 1 and 3. Like, what do you want me to do? Well, do you think it's fair that you just sit there and play with, the kids and they're not involved? And in the back of my mind, I'm going, just because you have to watch them for a couple hours?
Yeah.
Is that the issue? And I start boiling a little bit. I'm like, okay, calm it down, use your reasoning here. But she just keeps on it. And I'm holding my ground. I'm like, well, no, like we play every, we play once a week, usually now on Sundays. She's like, well, I don't think this is a good thing. Like you're leaving kids out. It's not fair to them. They really want to play. And finally I just said, so can you just not watch them for a couple hours while I take the 5 kids and play with them? And it just starts like, I said
that? Wow.
Yeah. Well, because listen, I've been married 15 years. Sometimes you just got to say stuff because I was like, I'm playing Monopoly, and in my eyes, I'm like, I have one thing now that I do with the kids. One thing. I play Monopoly. That's it. You read them books, you take them to church, you take them all over town. You're doing like, you have so much fun stuff you do with the kids. I have one thing, Monopoly, and you're trying to take a dump on it. And I held my ground and she apologized. I felt very well. She didn't apologize, but we moved past it. And so I was very happy with myself. I stood my ground, Tim.
You stood your ground. So you won against your little toddlers and you won against your wife.
Well, I won in general just because Monopoly's fun and I want to play it. And it's so nice when you just eliminate somebody too. It's a good feeling. My kids are very competitive. So it's a very, very nice thing. And yeah, I get to play Monopoly. I'm sure people who are married can understand that. Sometimes you just got to push back, you guys. Stand your ground. It works 1 out of 25 times.
Do you see them, like Ava and Gabriella, especially getting better each time and learning it more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how I beat them is the trades. That's how I win the game. And then how I also win is Gabriella will just buy anything she lands on. Yeah. So she goes around the board and she's landing on, and because there's only 3 people, you have to be a little more choosy on what you buy. So she's buying boardwalk, she's buying a green, she's buying a yellow, and then she's out of money. And she's like, what do I do? I'm a little more selective, strategic, and luck is involved there. I land on a blue, I land on a pink, I buy those up. I don't waste my time with the greens or the yellows initially. It's just a waste of money. And then I trade. And so I notice she has 2 yellows. Maybe I pick up a yellow and I go, oh, I'll give you this yellow for you. Give me a blue. What a good deal for you. How much rent is the blue worth? Only $6? Try putting hotels on yellows, Tim. $150 each. Good luck. You don't have that kind of coin. I put hotels on blue. They're $50 each. I'm getting payback. I'm getting return on investment right away. Right away. And then once you get that first hit, it's over, right? Like you get the first salvo and you've won the game. That's the key. Getting the houses on early, getting that first cash influx, then you can just go from there. And then you control the game. So got to spend money to make money.
One of the best things that comes up on social media, like on Instagram all the time, is home videos of people playing, little kids learning Monopoly for the first time, or just getting screwed over in Monopoly, or like Ticket to Ride, that train game, just bawling their eyes out because they lost to their older brother. Put the camera away. I don't want to be filmed right now.
Yeah.
What happened? I landed on blue. Oh, it's so great. It makes me laugh every single time.
My oldest, and I needle her, and she goes, "Dad, stop. Stop," because I'm just like, she's counting her money to pay me. And I just sit there, I'm like, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. Like, it's not, Ava, it's over. She's like, "Dad, stop. But she's still counting. I'm like, you owe me $750. And she's like, 184, 185. I'm like, just give it up, kid. You're done. It's very fun. You know what else was fun, Tim? Bet365. And this episode is brought to you by Bet365. They're a proud partner of Dropping the Gloves. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Use code HOCKEYCA. It's HOCKEYCA at Bet365. Very fun. Win like I win at Monopoly. It's a great site. Check it out. And bet on some hockey, because there is some exciting hockey being played. Let's get into it, Tim. We've been chatting about Monopoly. And by the way, the chickens are laying eggs like crazy. So life is good. And we're getting a new chicken for the one we lost. I told the lady we bought them from. She's like, "How's the chickens? How are they doing?" I'm like, "One died right away." She's like, "I'll drop one off." Perfect. So we're going to be back up to 10 this week. So very fun.
Nice.
You know what else is fun? If you're the Dallas Stars, you come into this postseason, first place, Tim, in the Western Conference. Had a great regular season. Everybody's pulling the rope. What's their motto again? I love the motto. Give a little to get a lot.
A little less for a lot more.
Great motto. Everybody's buying in. The top guys from years past taking a backseat to the young guys, Wyatt Johnsons of the world, the Svech. What's the guy's name? Shrankovkin or whatever?
Stankoven, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say Vitch on the end of his name, but they're buying in. People are stepping up. It's a great team environment. Oh, no, we played the Vegas Golden Knights, defending Stanley Cup champions. We're the underdog. Everybody's picking the Knights, myself included. Not Tim. Tim picked Dallas. We beat them. Oh, no, who do we face next? The year prior's Stanley Cup champion, the Colorado Avalanche. Oh, no, everybody's picking the Avalanche. Don't look now. We just wiped the floor with the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, we were aided by some injuries, by Nichushkin not keeping his nose clean, or maybe a little too clean. Do you know what I mean? They eliminate the Colorado Avalanche this past weekend in Game 6 in double overtime, Tim. Double overtime. And who got the game winner, Tim? Friend of the show, Matt Duchesne. Isn't it fun when you have guys on the show and they succeed? You kind of feel a part of it. Don't you? A little ownership?
Yeah, they're our friends now. That's how it works. So great to see him. He's a great, especially a guy like him who hadn't scored a ton in the playoffs. I think that was his second goal, maybe third.
Yeah.
But it was good to see him bury that.
Yeah, the fact that a lot of their top guys are not putting up goals and they're still winning and having success, the Dallas Stars must be really bullish on their chances going into the Western Conference Finals. They don't know who they'll face just yet, but the production they're getting from the top-end guys, the young guys, and the production they're not getting from the Pavelskis, the Robertsons, the Bens, the Sagans, the Duchesnes, there's still a lot of gas in the tank, per se, for guys who can step up and win. And we're going to touch on that in a second, of just how hard is it to stop the Dallas Stars and other teams, why they're succeeding and maybe why they're getting lucky or why other teams aren't shutting down their strengths. But let's just stick with the Dallas Stars right now. You had a pretty interesting stat here, Tim. 4 of the top 5 players remaining in the Stanley Cup playoffs that have played the most games in the NHL are on the Dallas Stars. And we talk about incentives, the Ray Borks of the world. You want to get this guy a Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars are loaded with players that you would love to see raise the cup for the first time. Who are they, Tim?
Yeah, let's go from the I'll work my way up. Matt Duchesne, 1,056 games, has never won a Stanley Cup. Jamie Benn, 1,112. Blake Wheeler, number 3. Joe Pavelski, number 2. And Ryan Suter, number 1, with over 1,400 games. So, yeah, 4 out of those 5 are on the Stars. And Blake Wheeler, too, by the way, is anxious to get back into the lineup.
Yeah,
He's
he
feeling
just
good,
removed his red jersey this past week. He's out. He's healthy. He wants to play. But do you think he even gets in the lineup?
Probably not, because Rempe's not even playing, right? So wouldn't you think? I mean, they're different players, but yeah. Anyway, back to the Stars. Like any of those guys we talked about over the years, like this Marlowe's finally, Jumbo Joe and Lundqvist and all those guys, and
Spezza,
now you think of Pavelski. He's probably the one of all those that it's the most easy to root for. But any of those guys would be awesome to see, and there's a good chance we'll see all four of them.
Well, I think Jamie Benn is the one. He's been with Dallas his whole career. He's obviously had issues with the owner. They've had some, issues there, signing the big contract, not producing. He's stuck it out, and he's played really well, and he's transitioned, like I said, the way he plays. He's a role player now, and he's okay with it because they're winning hockey, and they're a tough out. They really did outplay the Colorado Avalanche. They just outplayed them top to bottom. Colorado is a very hard out. We saw that in Game 5 with Makar and McKinnon stepping up, just dominating the game. Game 6 goes to double overtime. Tooth and nail. Very, very good hockey game, but the Dallas Stars, you don't see a weakness on this team. Ottinger played terrific. Duchesne should have had a couple goals before he scored his game winner. He was all over the ice. He played really, really well. Pavelski, still not himself. Maybe age is catching up with him a little bit. But who cares? You got Hintz, you got Stankoven, like I mentioned, and then Wyatt Johnson. And then the star of the show, Tim, Miro Heiskanen. Every single game, the guy stands out. He is an absolute star of this team. No pun intended. He's the guy. If they win the Stanley Cup, Conn Smythe is written all over this guy. He went toe-to-toe with Cale Makar and held his ground. He didn't beat him. He didn't play better than Makar because Makar is incredible. He's the best defenseman in hockey right now. But he didn't back down, and he was just as good. So Miro Heiskanen is so incredibly good, and they're just licking their chops to see who they play next. If you're the Dallas Stars, who would you rather see next round? You want to see the Edmonton Oilers, who's a very top-heavy team, just electric, can beat you at any given moment with a suspect goaltending, suspect defense, or you want to see the Vancouver Canucks, a team very similar to you. Top to bottom strengths all over the map. Goaltending not even nearly as strong. But okay, who do you want to see enter the Western Conference Finals?
I mean, they're both would be tough matchups. I don't think anything's a given, but I'd rather play Edmonton just because I feel like Dallas has the depth to offset that Edmonton doesn't. You know what I mean? And they have the depth, they have the defense, they have the goaltending edge there. And they have stars too, but you're still going to give a concede a game or two just because McDavid and Draisaitl will take over. But I feel like the depth that they have is just way better than what Edmonton has to offer. And Vancouver is not quite as top heavy. They don't have quite the electric stars, but they do have a deeper roster and some offensive firepower. So I feel like that's probably a better matchup.
I agree. Well, let's go east real quick before we jump in the one series that's still going on right now. We have a Game 7 tonight, but out east, things are set. This weekend, Florida finally eliminated the Boston Bruins in Game 6, mostly because who did you pick to win Game 6, Tim?
Pick Boston.
Yeah, it's your fault. Did you like my text? I said, good job. You cost them the game. It's you and Brad Marchand, basically. You shouldn't pick them to win, and Brad Marchand shouldn't have played. What did you think of that game? Gustav Forsling, by the way, scores the game winner with 1:30 left. Who did I pick as the Conn Smythe winner coming out of Florida? Say it, Tim.
Gustav Forsling.
Yeah. Nostradamus right here. I'm so smart when it comes to hockey, it scares me. I saw him score the game winner, and I said, this is scary. This is scary, John. Like, you're too good at this. You're too good at this. But anyways, he gets the game winner, played a solid game. The Bruins played all right.
Yeah,
Hung tough with the Florida Panthers, 1-1 throughout the whole game. Chances left and right. Swayman playing another strong game. Florida just overpowered them, don't you think? Like, it was a good series for the Bruins.
I think overall, yeah. And like I said, going into Game 5, I said all I'm looking for is a full 60-minute effort. I didn't have a ton of faith in them winning, and they did squeeze out a win. And then they gave it again in Game 6. A lot of frustrating, we can get into the X's and O's of who should have shot when, who made too many passes or whatever. But they showed up, and they played pretty well. Swayman again played outstanding, and a bad bounce that's kind of tucked through Wotherspoon's legs and over Swayman's pad. And just the thing that stands out to me about that is, though, that there were three things that frustrated me about the Bruins. And I'm not a Montgomery critic. I think he's a great coach. I'm not trying to get him fired like some people are. but three things that just kept popping up over and over again in this series and really the whole playoffs that does point to coaching. The first is the too many men in the ice penalties. You have 7 now.
So many.
We got another one. The second is having trouble getting out of their own zone. Like that's a team-wide issue. It's not just narrowed in on a couple players. They've let up many goals by not getting out of their own zone. And the third is like, especially Bobrovsky, he's an elite goaltender, but this was not his best series. And he looked beatable, and you should have been firing everything at the net, and they weren't doing it. They kept making extra passes. And there's the Panthers, they chuck everything at the net, and they create rebounds, and Gustav Forsling just has nothing else. It's kind of a throwaway play, just fires it at the net as he's kind of almost circling away from the play, and it goes in. And like there were so many opportunities that Boston should have had by scoring similar goals, and they did not choose to shoot it. And it was just like so pointedly obvious that this was the sort of thing that Boston should have been doing. They didn't. And that's exactly how Florida scored the winning goal.
It's an easy thing to say, have a shoot first mentality. It's a hard thing to drill through players' heads because throughout their whole minor league career, throughout their whole junior career, all they've done is tried to get the back door, the high grade A chance, the better opportunity. And so it's easy for us to say it, and I play it. It's easy to say in the locker room, oh, just shoot it from anywhere. It's not natural to cross the blue line or to get the puck in the zone or on the goal line or the hash marks or outside the grade A danger scoring area and just throw it on the net. That's not normal. And there's one thing to throw it on the net, and there's one thing to throw it on the net the correct way. A lot of times when people put pucks on net, it's up high because you have a tendency just to shoot high. It's hard to shoot it low on the pads, on the blocker to create a rebound, to take advantage of those shots from far. It's a lot harder than it is to just say it or to do it. So, it's nice. Shoot the puck, shoot the puck, shoot the puck, shoot the puck. It's tough. I know it's silly to say that, but it's tough to change your way of playing. For 10 years, 15 years, guys have entered the zone. If there's nothing, they stop up, they look for the trailer, they're looking cross ice, they're going behind the net to try to facilitate a better play. You have to try to all of a sudden turn that instinct off and to just throw it on the far pad and get a rebound. That's tough to do. It really is. I know it sounds silly, but it is very difficult to do that. So I think the Bruins played well. They did what they set out to do this year, and that was beat the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
That was it. Sole goal. Get past the Leafs. It's almost like Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan could lose every game on the roster, on the schedule. As long as they beat Ohio State, that's all you have to do. That's the one huge game. And, Boston did what they had to do. And the hockey world is better for it. They thank them for taking out the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right, let's just stay out east now. We have an Eastern Conference Finals. We'll dig into that maybe on Wednesday. The preview of the New York Rangers and the Florida Panthers. Very, very exciting series. I want to touch on the Rangers series versus the Canes. I did a lot of thinking about this, and it annoys me that the Carolina Hurricanes didn't make it a better series. And I went back, and I just thought, how could they have won this series? And you start thinking of tendencies of teams, and you start thinking of strengths and how to take strengths away. This is what coaches should do. This is what Rod Brindamore should have done. And you go back in history and you look at how other teams have beaten this team. And it's the New York Rangers. When you think about this team, you think, Shesterkin. There's nothing you can really do to take care of that problem. He's just a star goaltender. He makes saves. He's a very solid goaltender. Getting his eyes, you do that with every goaltender. How do you take care of the Rangers? What are they really good at for the last couple of years, Tim? What are they known for? What's their calling card? How do they score most of their goals?
Power play.
Power play. What do we do? How do we dissuade this team from scoring on the power play? You have to do different things. The Carolina Hurricanes did not do anything in this series to win it. And I went back and they win the series 4-2. In the games, the Rangers won. Game 1, they had 2 power play goals. Game 2, they had 2 power play goals. The decisive game, they had 1 power play goal. In the third game, they had a short-handed goal because they didn't have that many power plays. You're giving up odd man goals every single game that you lose. The games they win, 0 power play goals. So why not make that a more emphasis if you're the Carolina Hurricanes? The Rangers sure did. The Hurricanes had the 3rd best power play in the regular season. The Rangers really worked out and they shut them down for the most part. I go back to last year when the Rangers lost in the first round to the New Jersey Devils. If I'm Rod Brindamore, I go look at that series. What did the Devils do? Because the Devils beat them in 7. The Rangers, way better team at that point. The Rangers, the 3 games they won, 5 power play goals. Very, very solid. The 4 games they lost, 0 power play goals. Why? I don't know. You're pressuring, you're clearing, you're winning faceoffs, you're doing these things, you're in lanes, you're taking away Kreider in the middle, you're focusing on Panarin. I don't know what the answer is, but you have to go and shut down the stinking power play. And so everybody who just anoints Rod Brind'Amour as a good coach because he works out and he's a hard worker and he was a checker as a player and this and that, I don't know if I'm drinking the milk anymore or the Kool-Aid, whatever you want to drink. I don't know if I'm doing that. The more I think about it, the more it irks me because the Canes are good. They're very good, and they can't get over this hump. They're better than the New York Rangers in my eyes. They should have won this series, and they didn't. They got outcoached from my perspective.
Well, I feel like we've been talking about this for 3 years because they're a very, very good team, but there's a ceiling. There's like a cap on how far they can go and how much they can win just because of the system they play and the players they have. And so they're going to win a series or a round or two every single year. And it just seems like they just can't get past that. And it has to do with, it's different from like Toronto or Edmonton or things like that. It's just all the system. I don't know what to do to change it because Brind'Amour just signed for another 5 years. Like he's the guy. So what do you change?
It is what it is. You don't change a thing. That's your system. That's what you're locked into. That's what you're okay with. And if you're okay with that, so be it. But I'm just stating something that's glaring to me. You go into the series, if you're the Hurricanes, you know how to beat this team. You've played them many, many times in the regular season. You've seen in the history how they lose, how they win. Shut down the power play. That's all I'm focusing on. Every practice, I'm dialed in. How do they work their power play? And I know they're good. Listen, they zip it around. It's hard to prevent. You have to. You have to. And they didn't do it, and they lost this game and this series. So, and that got me thinking, okay, what series is going on right now? What are teams' strengths? Dallas Stars, a lot of strengths. Hard to shut them down. Edmonton Oilers, got one strength, one glaring strength. And I think Rick Tocchet has done a very good job slowing down Connor McDavid, multiple people checking Connor McDavid, keeping eyes on him, not getting him winded up in his own zone and get going with a Guy Lafleur-esque speed, just ripping down the wing. And he does put up points, don't get me wrong, but I think he's done a good job of slowing him down. And you look back, okay, round 1, he wins 4-1 versus the LA Kings. How many points did he get in the wins? 11 points in 4 games. How many points did he get in the losses? 1. So when Edmonton loses, Connor McDavid doesn't produce. Look at this series. The series is tied 3-3. The 3 wins Edmonton has won. McDavid has 8 points, 2 goals, 6 assists. The 3 games that they've lost, he's got 1 assist, no goals. That's it in 3 games. So if I'm a coach, if I'm an observer, how do you beat the Oilers? You let Draisaitl do his thing. That's fine. You shut down 97. You win this game. That's it. It's very simple. It's hard to do, but the concept is easy. So if I'm Rick Tocchet, I'm smothering McDavid. And it's just like shoot the puck, shoot the puck, shoot the puck. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. I think the Canucks have done a very good job on it. You slow them down the neutral zone as best you can. You keep an eye on them in the D zone. Try not to let them get lost, but it's glaring how to beat the Oilers. It's right in your face, and everybody knows it. But sometimes it's just harder to do. He's a very good player, Ted.
Well, yeah, and I think Vancouver's well set up to do that because of talk, like you said, because of players like JT Miller that you can just, stick a pin on them and follow them around the whole game. And the defense is big and strong, but they're not slow. And we thought they might have been getting exposed, and they've not been. So, yeah, I feel like they're equipped to do it. It's just a matter of, which is going to be way more tonight, McDavid's skill or the Vancouver's game plan.
Yeah, it's funny. In college, I was up at Michigan Tech. We had a one-man wrecking crew on our team, Chris Connor. Hobie Baker, candidate every single year. Incredible hockey player. Played pro for a long time. Like, so incredibly good. Should not have been at Michigan Tech. We played teams, Tim, I'm not even kidding you. They would just have one guy and shadow him. I think I've said it on the show before. It was almost embarrassing. We'd go into Minnesota Duluth or Mankato State. The teams that weren't, as high-end as like University of Minnesota or Denver, a team that was just like us, couldn't recruit very well, so you were just an okay team. They would just pick one guy, say, okay, when Connor is on the ice, you go on the ice and you stand right beside him. It was laughable. But it was a good system because once they took him out of the game, we were in trouble. We had nobody else, and that's what I think they should do with Connor McDavid.
So you're not. I mean, Draisaitl is what, the 4th or 5th best player on the planet. That doesn't scare you?
No, let him go. Let him do his thing. I can handle Draisaitl. We can't handle McDavid. So go and just sit beside him. Because Draisaitl is getting his points. He's putting up points every single game. He puts up 3, we lose. McDavid doesn't put up 3 and we lose.
Yeah.
It seems like the way he goes, that's the way our win-losses go. So it's too late to do it now. But yeah, you need to keep an eye on him. If I'm Vancouver, it's now. And this is the way the series gone. Vancouver wins, Edmonton wins. They've gone back and forth. So should be a Vancouver win going into Game 7. Let's talk about Game 6. Big decision by Chris Knobloch. Big decision. Went to Picard for Games 4 and 5. 2 wins. No, 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah.
1 win, 1 loss. But he played okay. Goes back to Stuart Skinner for Game 6. I was surprised. Were you surprised to see the big guy back in net?
Everyone was. The Oilers tweeted out that Skinner was getting the start, and you look at all the replies on Twitter, it's just like, why? It paid off, I think. I mean, you got the win. I don't think Skinner played excellent. He had 14 saves on 15 shots, but he didn't have to be excellent. Like, Edmonton just dominated. But yeah, I assume you go back to Skinner for Game 7, but it was a very bold choice by Knobloch to do that.
He made a comment which I really liked, and I don't know much about this coach, but I like what he says in the press conferences. He said, I told Stuart we're going to sit him down, we're going to need him. We're going to need him because he's the number 1 goalie, and that's the comment he made to the press. Like, why did you go back to Stuart Skinner? He's my number 1 goalie. If we have a do or die game, I'm going with my number 1, and Stuart Skinner has been our number 1, is our number 1, and will be our number 1. He faltered a little bit. We got Picard came in, did okay, but Skinner's our number 1. I like that. I like that confidence. I also like that he benched him. He's not okay with the way he's been playing. So Stuart Skinner sits out, comes back in. You could have throw a shooter tutor in there, and they would have won this game. Like, it was dominant, which was helpful to Stuart Skinner, but I like that. You got to have a little bit of loyalty. I like that he benched him, much like they should have done with Hellebuck in Winnipeg. You should have benched him and then went back to him. Accountability does, exist, but Edmonton, they stepped up. McDavid, 3 assists. Stuart Skinner, big win, only allowed 1 goal, and we're going to Game 7. Back, isn't it Vancouver? Back to Vancouver.
Yep.
Very exciting tonight, Tim. Big news for Vancouver, though. Who's missing this Game 7?
Yeah, Brock Boeser. So the report is that he's got blood clot in his leg. They found the morning of Game 6. They played him, the coaching staff, but he's got a blood clotting issue. The exact timeline was going to be unknown, but obviously not playing Game 7. And Frank just reported this morning that he won't play again this season. He's on blood thinners. They've got to figure it out. It's a very serious issue. And so he's going to be out. And that's a huge blow for Vancouver's offense in the top 6. They got to jumble things around now. Yeah. He's been scoring goals left and right this playoffs.
He's an Edmonton killer. Like, he has their number. He's been fantastic against them. That's a huge loss. And I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but blood clots, ding dong, vaccine. Hello, anybody? Don't send letters. Okay, I don't want to hear any of that crap. It just is too. This kid's a young, healthy kid. He got blood clots. Shouldn't be that way. So, anyways, predictions for tonight, Tim. Game 7. Who do you have? You got Sheelovs for Vancouver, struggling. You got Skinner, struggling. Didn't get much work last game. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Who do you take?
This is a tough one, and I want to say it's been a great series because it's 2 Canadian juggernauts going 7, but it seems like it's one team every night. There's not a lot of like, oh, both teams deserve the win tonight. It's Vancouver's game, then it's Edmonton's game, then it's Vancouver's game again. So it's gone back and forth. I'm picking Vancouver tonight. It could easily go either way, and I know I picked Edmonton at the beginning, but I just feel like Vancouver is the better all-around team, and I would pick them to take this home, especially in their own barn.
There has been multiple games that have been decided by a goal in the last minute. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. You're taking Vancouver, so Edmonton's going to win. Congrats, Oilers fans. Tim just gave you the W. With Boeser out, that changes things. It honestly does. I feel like he brings so much to this team, but can I go against friend of the show, Nikita Zadorov, JT Miller, Connor Garland? I can't do it.
Tyler Myers. Yeah.
Tyler Myers. Oh, Myers played bad. He played bad in Game 6. He struggled mightily. He needs to pick his game up. When a big guy gets out of position and is trying to block a shot and ends up on the ice and the other team scores, very noticeable. And Tyler Myers is 6'7". He's a big giraffe out there. Like, he's all limbs. And when he goes down or he's trying to do something and the other team scores and he's on the ice, it's not a great look, Tyler. Not a great look. But he's trying his best. Good for him. But I will take the Vancouver Canucks just for that fact. A lot of the guys really enjoy the show.
Was Myers the guy that when he came on our show tried to tell you that he was taller than you? Was that him?
I don't think so. I think it was Mo Sider, maybe.
No, I think it was Tyler Myers. He's like,
did we have that guy, the Elmer Soderblom? Did we have him on there?
We did, yeah. He tried
Was that him who said that?
How much he could bench. Yeah,
I still don't believe it. The kid's no. There's no reason. There's a reason he's in the AHL. He's a liar.
Yeah.
Oh, you're bench like 500. No, you can't. Like, no, you can't. Your arms are too long. All right, but I'm taking the Vancouver Canucks. Let's get some quick hits in here. Some interesting Pete DeBoer facts.
Yeah, he's now been to the Western Conference Final in 5 of the last 6 seasons with 3 different teams, with the San Jose Sharks and then Vegas, and now again with Dallas. So pretty cool for him.
How does that happen?
Good
you
coach.
make the finals, like your Final Four team, but then you get fired. I don't understand. Obviously, San Jose, they were at the apex, and then he gets, they struggled, so he gets gassed. And then what? Like, crazy. You're a successful coach, and you've been on 3 teams in the last 6 years. You think he feels good about that? Like, is that a good stat?
Yeah, I think. I mean, yes. It's you're coaching good teams and you're taking different groups of players to the Western Conference Finals. I
don't know. It's like a bittersweet. It's like when I do these charity events and they introduce you and they introduce all the people. Oh, this guy played 1,000 games for Darian Hatcher, like 1,500 games for 2 teams. Dallas and Detroit, and then they do me.
Stanley Cup. Yeah.
Stanley Cup. But John Scott played 300 games for the Minnesota Wild, Chicago Blackhawks, Buffalo Sabres, Arizona Coyotes, San Jose Coyotes, or San Jose whatever, Sharks, and Montreal Canadiens. I'm missing one.
New York Rangers.
I'm just like, holy cow. Let's just stick to the big 2 maybe here. And it's just
give him a new intro.
Yeah, it's annoying. So it's like, I don't know. It's not great. All right, moving on. Another news from New Jersey. Pete DeBoer coached there. I think he took them to the Eastern Conference Finals too. Anyways, the Devils have signed Curtis McDermott to a 3-year extension. 3 years for $1.15 million. Seems like a lot, doesn't it?
No, that sounds about right. It's not like he's getting Reeves money, which is, what was it, 3.5 or whatever he's making? So,
no, he's not making 3.5 a year. He's making 1.5 a year, I think, 1.6 a year. But for a guy like, and this is where my tinge of jealousy might come in. I'm like, why is he getting so much money? I don't understand it, but he signs with the New Jersey Devils. Good for him. Is this a reactionary signing to Matt Rempe, Tim, you think?
Yeah, I mean, reactionary sounds like it's a negative term, but it is. It's obviously, that's why I brought him here, and then Rempe's not going anywhere. So I think it's a big part of protecting their younger players, not just from Rempe, but he's definitely a big part of it, which made me think of like the stories you've told another guest on our show of like, hey, I know I only signed because that guy was in our division and he didn't have a tough guy. These guys get each other jobs, which is pretty cool.
McDermott got 3 points last year. 1.15 seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, he plays half the games.
Yeah, less than half. So anyways, good signing for him. It's nice when we see fighters get contracts. Very, very good. It looks like the strength is going east. So expect the Sabres to man up. Expect the Leafs. Well, they already got Reeves. Expect who else? The Islanders. Everybody. They'll it's like the arms race. They're going to get some nukes coming in. All right. We mentioned Rod Brind'Amour with the Carolina Hurricanes. You said he signed a 5-year extension. It's like, who cares?
Most people do.
Everybody loves him, and I love him too, but I don't think he should be the coach there anymore. Got to mix it up.
Yeah, and that's another team we should spend some time in the offseason talking about.
Okay.
More time.
But not this week because they're out, because they're losers, because they don't know how to play in the playoffs. All right. Wednesday, we'll preview some finals action. We'll know who plays the Dallas Stars, about Edmonton or Vancouver, and then we'll preview New York versus Florida. Very exciting. We're down to 4 teams, everybody. I hope you're having fun. Check us out on Wednesday. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Dropping the Gloves with John Scott, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from to never miss an episode.